Well, if not, that is it from the Engine Delta 2025. I have a couple of thank yous to say while Tanya sets up just to introduce the next Delta. I hope you've enjoyed the week. Really appreciate coming to Brisbane, away from your family, with your family, in the middle of grades and marking, which a few of us spent the rest day on Wednesday doing that. Some are still teaching, some are in trimesters. There's never really a great time to hold a conference, but we try and hold it in a reasonable time for Delta. So thank you very much for coming to Brisbane. The weather hasn't been great, so I apologise for the humidity and the storms and the lightning and the power blackouts. Hopefully you weren't too affected. I would really like to thank our two keynotes, Clemency and Jess, for coming all the way and giving such wonderful talks. So round of applause for Clemency and Jess, please. To Leanne, Tracy and Greg for handling the IGMES submissions, and also to Don and Jim and Amanda for handling the conference proceedings and doing all that hard work. It's a massive job. So thank you very much to those 6 people. To my colleagues, Poe and Sam and Michael, thank you for helping out with all the tech stuff throughout the week and introducing speakers and thanking speakers. I haven't seen too many talks this week, but I look forward to watching the recordings as I chop them all up. And once they're all in little individual segments, I will contact everyone to make sure that you're okay, that we can publish them on probably our first year in maths private YouTube site, but I will contact you. That'll be January after Christmas. After I go to sleep tonight, I'll wake up in January. Thanks very much for coming to Brisbane, to UQ, to Meanjin and Delta. I hope you've had a wonderful time, and I'll hand over to Tanya to introduce Delta 16.
Yeah, let's start by thanking Michael. Fantastic conference. Yes. 5 minutes before you get to the pizza, but we are here to say the Delta 16 has already been planned during the conference dinner, actually. And it is coming back to the University of Auckland. We call it Waipapa Tamaturau in the Maori indigenous language. And I have to say the decision was easy because back in 2021, it was our turn to host Delta in New Zealand, and Delta was coming to the University of Auckland for the very first time. And Phil Kane here, not me, Phil Kane was the convener of that conference, and he's done a tremendous amount of work. He started 3 years in advance planning that conference, and it was very frustrating when the conference had to be shifted online. So Phil ran the conference online, and it just was never it was never as he planned. So that's why we decided that the next turn we have, it's coming back to the University of Auckland. And yeah, it's a biennial conference for those new to Delta. It's only every 2 years. And the venue will be at the University of Auckland. How many of you have never been to Auckland? Please raise your hand. Oh, what? More than 50%. Well, aren't you happy to know that that's what you're going to be doing in 2027, hopefully? And the dates have not been confirmed. We'll unfortunately have to wait and confirm the dates around 1 year in advance. And these are some beautiful pictures I found free of charge on the internet. Auckland is known as the city of sails, and you can see why. A lot of people have boats and yachts, and they use them all year round because it's the weather is nice all year round. And Auckland has 80 volcanoes, or more than 80, and don't worry, they're all extinct. No, oh, sorry. None of them actually, that's what I wanted to say, that's right. Recently. The last one was, what, 600 years ago? 600 years ago? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, there will be probably full day of Wednesday. I think we really like that idea to have a full day in the middle of the conference so people can actually travel anywhere they want without being organized in different destinations. And there are very many things you can do around Auckland, 1 hour away. This is my favorite beach in the world, Hahe Beach in Coromandel. It's 2 hours, 15 minutes away, but definitely worth the trip. And for those of you who've never been to Auckland, these are typical daily highs and lows for the last week of November in Celsius. So we've got quite a nice temperature range from just under 19 to, just under 20. That's the orange light is the highs and the blue lines is the lows. I'm not going to show you the rain data, but I will show you the humidity data if you're interested. So it's in a very nice range, around 75% humidity, steady, doesn't change and drop like it is here in the lovely Brisbane. But I have to say I'm very impressed with the University of Queensland. I don't think I've ever seen a campus so beautifully kept and feels like a sanctuary. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. Well, very privileged to have this conference in this location. Our campus is not as nice, I have to say. But anyway, we have good things. Right, and for those who are first-timers at Delta, I have to say, Delta is very special in many respects. Community spirit and support, but also it is very unusual in a sense that it comes up with a special issue of International Journal of Mathematical Education and Science and Technology. This is the journal that is has been based mostly at Loughborough University in the UK. Well, editor-in-chief Colin Foster is there at the moment, which is the largest center of mathematics education in the world. Loughborough University, remember that. And we have an agreement with the journal to have a Delta special issue every time we have Delta. And I attend many conferences, and this is very special because where else you have an opportunity to submit a manuscript in April and have it published before the start of the conference in November. With the peer review speeds and everything slowing down, this is very, very unusual. So, and for me and for my students, I always recommend to support the special issue and submit manuscripts and plan it in the pipeline. So plan it for 2027, November 2027 is the Delta. So plan to write a manuscript to be ready by March 2027, so you can submit it here. If it gets rejected, no worries. With the comments from the reviewers, you might be offered an opportunity to submit it to the Delta Conference Proceedings, which is also a blind peer-reviewed outlet for your publications. That is also coming out very fast, within a few months. And I'm pleased to see that IGMS as a journal has improved under the leadership of Loughborough University team and is now ranked in quartile 1 on the SciMago journal. This is a great achievement. Very well. Okay, so that's the conference, and I've taken the liberty to reuse Phil's slides that he prepared for the 2021 conference, and he's organized all the sponsors and everything. And I thought, well, we haven't really talked to sponsors yet, but surely we didn't charge them back then, so we're going to come back to the sponsors and say, can we please have the money that you promised us in 2020? So there we are, and see you in New Zealand in 2027.
Michael, couple of things just before we finish off. On behalf of Greg Oates, who couldn't be here, but I'm addressing, or Mr. Oates, as he likes to be called. Just 2 or 3 things to wrap up. Could the members of the International Steering Committee just stand so people can see who you are? Now, these folks have a very special position because they are the ones who were in that room 2 years ago in Cape Town when Greg made a very important phone call. Fortunately, Michael was at the other end of the phone and said yes. But just a huge thank you, Mike, on behalf of all of us, the committee, and Greg would love to have been here to say this, but you've put out a template of a conference that's just been absolutely superb. And we're very grateful. I know people have said this, but on behalf of the committee and all of us, well done. Well done. And I hope you rest up. You deserve it, mate. And as pizza deliveries go, you're looking pretty fabulous. Just one other thing. Something you may not realise, the brochure that Michael, the letter that Michael sent about Meanjin Delta, right on the top left there is our Delta Triangle, which has been great. That started off from a young woman called Grace Wiegand. We did a contest in Auckland to see if we could get a logo. And Grace won. And now she's a creative director in a design company somewhere in Auckland. But it's great to see how it evolves, and each new conference centre, Cape Town was also borrowed this as well, has developed their own sort of flavour about that. So it's cool to see Grace's work continue.
I
Okay.
didn't talk about the logo, but as a maths education PhD student from Sunshine Coast University, if you have a close look at it, it's the Brisbane River going through the Delta logo, and hidden in there on one reach of the river is the jacaranda, which finished blooming about a month ago here. So yeah, we wanted to use the Delta logo and designed by a maths ed student.
Thank you.
Lunch.